Welcome to Durban Garden City. This layout has been around in one form or another for a while now, but this is probably the first time I've tried to properly explain what it is, where it came from, and why I've built it the way I have. I wouldn't really call myself a railway expert. I'm not a train spotter, and I'm certainly not a rivet counter. I'm a modeller. I've always loved making things look believable, whether that was airfix kits, model aircraft, boats, cars, photography, or now this railway. For me, this isn't just about trains going round a track, it's about trying to create a little world that feels real. My interest in railways probably started when I was young, going to the National Railway Museum at York. I remember seeing Mallard as a kid, big, blue, fast looking, with those red wheels. It made a real impression on me. My dad was a marine diesel engineer and he loved engineering. He used to talk about the Napier engines in the Deltics because they were linked to the kind of engineering he understood. He was also a keen photographer, and I think a lot of how I see models now comes from him. So really this layout comes from a mix of things: engineering, modelling, photography, movement, lighting, and a bit of childhood imagination. When I was a kid, a train set was just something you put on the floor. An oval of track, a plastic train, and round it went. It was fun, but it never looked real. What changed for me with modern model railways is that the models themselves have become so good. The lights, the sounds, the detail, the weathering, everything is there apart from the smell. But even the best model still needs somewhere believable to exist. Put it on a bare board and it still looks like a toy. Put it into scenery with light, grime, grass, buildings and atmosphere, and suddenly it starts to become something else. That's what I'm chasing here. Not perfection, believability. The canal scene is probably one of the most personal parts of the railway. The little canal barge came from a kit my mum built years ago, probably around the early 1980s. We used to holiday on canal boats, and I think the kit came from somewhere like Stoke-Bruerne. My mum was a modeller too. She built airfix kits, aircraft, a hovercraft, an old London fire engine, birds, all sorts of things. She had a real eye for making things. She passed away in 1991, aged only 43. I was 21. That little barge survived all these years, and eventually I realised it was actually the same scale as the railway. So rather than leave it as an ornament, I built a canal scene for it. It's not meant to dominate the layout, it's just a small section, like a glimpse of a canal passing through the railway landscape. But it means a lot because something my mum made is now part of something I've built. Space is probably the biggest challenge with a layout like this. You want long trains sweeping curves, stations, sidings, tunnels, scenery, bridges, countryside, but you've only got so much room. So the trick is illusion. A tunnel makes a train feel like it's come from somewhere far away. A bridge suggests a wider landscape. A station gives the train a reason to stop. A curve hides the fact that it's really just coming round again. The camera helps too. If you film from standing height, it looks like a model railway. But if you get the camera down low where a real person would be standing, suddenly the whole thing changes. The picture shows one small part of it. Your imagination fills in the rest. You'll see a mixture of trains running here. There's steam like Flying Scotsman, and there are diesels like the Class 47s and Deltics. Strictly speaking, not all of it belongs together. But that doesn't bother me too much. I'm not building a museum record of one exact place at one exact date. I'm building a world I enjoy looking at. Some people will want everything historically perfect, and that's fine, but this layout has always had a bit of imagination in it. There's even a Doctor Who TARDIS that moves around the layout from time to time. That's part of the fun. It's still meant to look believable, but it doesn't have to be joyless. One thing I do enjoy is weathering. The coal wagons, for example, have been repainted and weathered to look more used and industrial. Real railways are not clean places. They have oil stains, rust, dust, weeds, rubbish, worn paint, and all the little imperfections that make them believable. Sometimes it's those small details that stop something looking like a toy. You don't always notice them straight away, but your brain does. A clean model can look impressive. A weathered model can look like it has lived. I think the layout really comes alive in lower light. Lighting hides some of the imperfections, but more importantly, it creates atmosphere. A lit window suggests somebody is inside. A station lamp catches the side of a passing train. Headlights appear before you even know what locomotive is coming. Coach lights blur as they pass. You don't need to show everything. In fact, sometimes it's better if you don't. Shadows, reflections, light through trees, glow from buildings. All of that makes the scene feel more real. It turns the layout into a little film set. In many ways, Durban Garden City is less like a traditional model railway and more like a collection of miniature film scenes. That probably comes from all my other interests. I've done model aircraft, RC cars, boats, helicopters, photography, Photoshop, and I've always loved practical effects, things like Thunderbirds, where models were used to create worlds that felt real. That's what fascinates me, taking something small and artificial, then lighting it, filming it, and framing it so for a second you almost believe it. That's the magic bit. Part of me thinks it would be a shame to keep all this hidden away in a shed. I don't necessarily want people coming round to see it, but I do want people to enjoy it. That's where the camera comes in. Filming it gives the railway another life. It lets people see the best angles, the atmosphere, the movement, the little moments that might otherwise be missed. And maybe it inspires somebody else to build something. It doesn't have to be a big railway, it could be a small diorama, an airfix kit, a photograph, anything. The point is to make something with your hands and your imagination. People often say a model railway is never truly finished, and I think they're right. Real towns and cities are never finished either. Buildings change, trees grow, graffiti appears, rubbish gathers, things get repaired, knocked down, rebuilt. So maybe a believable model world shouldn't ever feel completely frozen. There are still unfinished areas here. The station, the canal, parts of the scenery, the frontage. Plenty still needs doing, but that's part of it. Durban Garden City is evolving, one scene at a time. I suppose underneath it all, this layout is about memory as much as modelling. My dad's photography and engineering, my mum's model making, the places I've visited, the trains, aircraft, boats, racing cars, engines and machines that have caught my imagination over the years. It all finds its way in somehow. This isn't just a railway to me, it's a way of keeping all those interests alive in one place. So if you're watching this as a railway expert, forgive me if it isn't perfect. If you're watching it as a modeller, a photographer, a film fan, or just somebody who likes miniature worlds, then hopefully you'll understand what I'm trying to do. Durban Garden City is not about being the most accurate railway on YouTube. It's about atmosphere, movement, lighting, memory, and imagination. It's a toy train set, really. But when everything comes together, the sound, the lights, the scenery, and the camera angle, just for a moment, it stops looking like a toy. And that's what makes it worth doing.